I want to hear more reaction now. I'm joined by IDF Brigadier General in Reserves, Yosef Kuperwasser, former Director General of the Israeli Ministry of Strategic Affairs and former Head of Research Division at the IDF Military Intelligence. He joins us from Rosh Hashanah in Israel. Mr. Kuperwasser, thank you for coming on the show. An incredible, dramatic development in the recent hour. I want to hear your reaction to the dismissing of Defense Minister Yoav Gallant.
Well, I think it's major. Mainly, it's a political move that's related to the security matters. And I think Minister Gallant did a brave move last night, expressing his views, taking the risks. He knew that this may be costly from his point of view. Nevertheless, he did it. I think Netanyahu did it both because he doesn't agree with him, and secondly, because Gallant came out while Bibi was out of the country without coordinating with him. This was something that for the Prime Minister was a show of mistrust, and that's why he decided to do what he did. And he's determined to go on with the legislation. And that's where we stand. And there's a clear clash between those who don't want this government and those who want this government to stay. And Israel is divided in a very harsh manner between those two camps.
Yes, Mr. Kuperwasser, obviously this is a political decision, but one that has great implications for Israel's security system. Such an important and sensitive position for Israel, now left without a leader. Try to break down for us how does Israel's security ministry operate this evening, tomorrow, when security challenges continue to pop up as Israel is engaged in so many challenges at this hour?
Well, the fact is that we are facing many challenges. It's, the fact that Gallant is there or is not there as the minister is not that important at that point of time. Israel as a military, as a security services that are very effective, with or without the Minister of Defense. But then there is definitely going to be replaced by somebody who is also capable. This is not the issue. The issue is that we are facing many challenges simultaneously. We have the Palestinian challenges. We are going through Ramadan, and there are terror attacks in the areas of Judea and Samaria. There are threats coming out from Gaza. Iran is getting very close to having the capability to produce nuclear weapons. And what we hear from the United States is worrying, because we just heard the Joint Chief of Staff saying that the United States is not going to allow Iran to field a nuclear weapon. If that far they are going to tolerate up to fielding, this is a good reason to be concerned about the American attitude towards the Iranian threat, and definitely to be worried about the Iranian threat itself, because if this is what the Iranians are hearing from Washington, they may interpret it as a green light to keep moving forward to having 90% enriched uranium, not only 84 or 60. And this is something that is very worrisome, and we are facing the threats from Hezbollah. The attack in Megiddo a couple of weeks ago was another expression of the fact that Hezbollah too is trying to change the rules of the game, just like the Iranians trying to do that concerning both the American presence in Syria, as we saw in the last couple of days, and concerning the nuclear project itself. Yep. We are in a time where the weakness of the West.
Yep. Mr. Kuperwasser, we are taking a very short break. Do stay with us. We will hear more from you on this breaking news right after the break. Stay with us. Still with our breaking news story at this hour, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu firing his defense minister Yoav Gallant. These dramatic developments out of Jerusalem, and a lot of reactions are coming in thick and thin, starting with Gallant saying the security of the State of Israel has always been and will always remain the mission of my life. You're also hearing from opposition leader Yair Lapid saying the firing of Gallant is a new low for an anti-Zionist government, adding Netanyahu is a danger to the security of the State of Israel. Former Chief of Staff and Defense Minister Benny Gantz saying, quote, "We face a clear, immediate and tangible danger to Israel's security." And another former Chief of Staff of the IDF, Gadi Eisenkot, saying, quote, "Netanyahu has proven that Israel's security is not part of his priorities." Still with me, Yosef Kuperwasser. We were talking about the security challenges, so many of those that Israel faces today. And you're hearing these reactions from former chiefs of staff of the IDF, from Eisenkot and from Gantz. We face a clear, immediate and tangible danger to Israel's security. Your reaction?
Well, I don't think that these positions reflect more than their political situation and their political attitude. Israel's security does not depend on that or this person. It's much bigger than that, and I'm sure that the Israeli security forces are going to be able to cope with any threat. But it is true that we are facing this compoundment of very, very acute dangers, and we have to be in a very high alert to face them all simultaneously. That's clearly the case, with or without Gallant. The critical political crisis is something that weakens us, and that's the problem. The reason that we have to show unity is that we are facing these threats. It's not a matter of this or that person. We have to show unity, and we have to find a way to overcome this rupture in our society. That's clear. And another thing that we have to do, and was not done until now profoundly enough, is to put an end to this idea of refusing to serve in the military, yes, and to do the reserve duty by some of the protesters.
Yes, we are very far. We are very far from unity, and our viewers can still see on the screens these spontaneous protests taking place right now on the streets of Tel Aviv. And to your point exactly, we have just heard today from the IDF Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi speaking to new IDF recruits about the importance of remaining the People's Army. For so many years, the IDF has managed to remain above political divides. Let's take a listen to Herzi Halevi first, and then I want to get your reaction.
You're enlisting in a challenging security period. Iran, which on the one hand is far away and on the other hand has a close influence here. We are also dealing with Lebanon, Syria, the Gaza Strip, and terrorism in Judea and Samaria, which also carried out a serious attack in the early evening yesterday in which soldiers were injured, and we wish them a full recovery from here. At this time, the service in the IDF is even more meaningful. The People's Army takes on a different meaning these days, and each of you enlists in the IDF today with a dual mission. On the one hand, maintaining the security of the country. On the other hand, no less important, to keep the IDF uniform, cohesive and unified. Our strength comes when we are together. That's the only way for our country to prosper.
Mr. Kuperwasser, well, the IDF Chief of Staff speaking about the importance of keeping the IDF, the People's Army, but as we can see, the political divides do linger into the military. How do you protect the IDF from this situation?
Well, I think, first of all, I couldn't agree more with what General Halevi was saying. That's exactly what needs to be done, to be committed to unity. And I think it's the army leadership and the defense leadership has a very demanding task now to explain that to everybody inside the military establishment and inside the IDF and the other security apparatuses, so that everybody knows that at this time they have to show unity, because everything else does not show unity, and their unity is so critical for our security that they have to be united. I'm totally worried with what's happening outside of the military, but at least in the military, this unity has to be preserved.
Yes, unity is difficult to preserve in the military when the nation is so divided. This is at least what we can learn.
We have a nation army, and that's what makes it so difficult, but we do not run away from difficult missions.